All right, so get this. Imagine looking at a blank spot in the sky and saying, yep, there's a planet right there, before anyone's even seen it. Sounds crazy.
Like something straight out of science fiction.
Exactly. But that's exactly what happened with Neptune.
It's a story that shows how powerful math can be in astronomy.
It really is. And that's what we're diving into in this deep dive. How a planet was discovered not by looking through a telescope, at least not initially, but by, well, basically doing math.
And it's a fascinating story. You've got scientific detective work, a bit of a rivalry, all the good stuff.
Oh yeah, we're talking serious cosmic drama. Okay, so we're working with some excerpts about the discovery of Neptune, and trust me, it's a wild ride.
I'm ready.
Okay, so picture this. It's the early 1800s. Uranus, the farthest planet astronomers knew of at the time, it's acting a little off.
Off. How so?
Well, it wasn't quite where it was supposed to be in the sky, at least according to Newton's laws of gravity.
Ah, Newton's laws. The laws that basically dictate, well, everything in the universe when it comes to gravity. Like, they're the reason we have tides, why what goes up must come down.
Exactly. The basics. But Uranus was like, nah, I'm not playing by the rules.
So it was a bit of a cosmic rebel.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets really interesting. These weren't just small errors in Uranus's orbit. We're talking significant discrepancies, big enough that astronomers started to think, okay, something's pulling on this planet, something we can't see.
It's like those astronomers were cosmic detectives, piecing together clues about something invisible.
I love that, cosmic detectives. And what a mystery, right? Trying to find something massive, completely hidden from view, just by its effect on something else.
It's mind-boggling when you think about it. It took some serious guts to even consider that a hidden planet could be the culprit.
Right. I mean, imagine being the astronomer who first voiced that idea. Everyone's probably thinking, has anyone checked the telescope lens lately? But no, these were serious scientists. They knew something was up. So who were these brave mathematicians who decided to tackle this cosmic mystery? Well, let me introduce you to Urbain Le Verrier and John Couch-Adams, because these two, they're about to rock your world. And here's where it gets really interesting. Le Verrier and Adams, they were working on this problem independently. Can you imagine? Two minds in different countries tackling the same cosmic puzzle.
And don't forget, this is the 1800s. They didn't have computers or even calculators like we do now.
Oh, man. It's mind-blowing. We're talking about serious brain power here. Just pages and pages of hand calculations. Talk about dedication. So they're basically trying to find this hidden object, this phantom planet, right? But the only way to do it is by looking at how it's messing with Uranus's orbit.
Kind of like trying to figure out, I don't know, the size and weight of something you can't see just by how it nudges something else as it passes by.
That's a great way to put it. So, like, imagine a bowling ball rolling past a tennis ball, right? And you can only see the tennis ball move. Could you figure out, just from that, how heavy that invisible bowling ball is?
Exactly. And that's basically what we call gravitational perturbation. It's how the gravity of one planet, or, well, any celestial body really, can affect another one, even across huge distances.
So in this case, that invisible bowling ball was Neptune, just subtly tugging on Uranus with its gravity. It's incredible.
It really is.
And get this, Le Verrier, he managed to finish his calculations first. Talk about a close call. And then what he did is he sent his prediction to an astronomer named Johann Galli at the Berlin Observatory.
He basically said, point your telescope right here, I dare you.
Huh, exactly. Could you imagine being Galli, getting that message? The anticipation must have been incredible. It's like the astronomical version of a treasure hunt, with a whole planet as the prize. And you know what? Galli actually found it. On the night of September 23rd, 1846, he aims his telescope at the spot Le Verrier calculated, and boom, there it was.
Talk about a legendary moment in astronomy. I mean, this was a planet found not by chance, but by pure mathematical prediction. It's incredible.
It really is mind-blowing. And it gets even better. Just 17 days later, they discovered Triton, Neptune's largest moon. It's like finding a cosmic bonus prize.
Talk about icing on the cake. But this whole story, it just shows how important the evolution of science really is. It's not always about a single eureka moment. Often it's a bunch of observations, calculations, even some missteps along the way that ultimately lead to these breakthroughs.
Absolutely. And speaking of missteps, we've got to talk about John Couch-Adams. Remember, he was the other mathematician working on this. Completely separate from Le Verrier. Well, he actually made similar calculations, but there were a few issues.
Yeah, his predictions weren't quite as accurate, and he didn't send them off to an astronomer like Leverrier did. So, well, Leverrier got the official credit, and rightfully so. There's always been a bit of debate about who really discovered Neptune.
It definitely highlights how, in science, it's rarely a one-person show.
Right. It's more like a relay race. Each discovery builds on what came before, sometimes over decades, even centuries. And get this, it turns out other astronomers had actually seen Neptune before, but, well, they didn't realize what they were looking at. Even Galileo himself.
Wait, seriously, Galileo saw Neptune?
Yeah, he had it in his sights back in the 1600s, but his telescope wasn't powerful enough to see it clearly. He just marked it down as a star and moved on. It's amazing to think what he might have figured out with today's telescopes.
It makes you wonder, are there other big discoveries hiding in plain sight, just waiting for the right tools and, the right perspective? And it wasn't just Galileo who missed it. In 1795, astronomer Joseph Jérôme Lefrançois de Lalande, he actually observed Neptune twice. Twice. But, like Galileo, he mistook it for a star.
Oh man, that's got to sting a little, realizing that later on. Talk about a cosmic near miss.
It really makes you appreciate how much our understanding of the universe depends on context and, of course, technology.
Couldn't agree more.
So to wrap things up, Neptune's discovery wasn't just about finding a new planet, it was a game changer. It proved that Newton's laws of gravity worked even in the furthest reaches of our solar system, and it really opened up the floodgates for discovering even more out there.
Yeah, it paved the way for finding Pluto and countless other objects beyond Neptune, and who knows what else is still out there waiting to be discovered, right?
Exactly. Maybe there are even more planets lurking in the darkness, subtly tugging on the orbits of the ones we already know. If a few wobbly movements led to Neptune, imagine what other secrets the universe is hiding in plain sight. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been awesome.